This is Romeo. Romeo, no swearing, we're on live stream. Romeo was difficult, and I did not have the tool skills to do anything about it. And I realized way too late that he had these severe issues. He wanted you off, and then he wanted you dead, and so I hired a professional to come in and break Romeo. Well, then I got a call about 3 hours later. Romeo had broken this gentleman's back in 3 places. In order for nobody else to get hurt, what was I going to do? I needed to come up with a training. And so I went to that dark place that a lot of us go when we're desperate, the internet. And I researched and I found a bunch of articles about people training animals that could simply walk or swim, or in the case of Ken Ramirez and his butterfly training, fly away if they didn't want to be trained. So in lieu of some magical, mystical power, how are these people training these animals to do this? Well, there was one article that I was really drawn to, and it was an article about clicker training. And it was full of concepts I had never heard of, like behavior and reinforcers and shaping and blah, 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 blah. It made no sense to me. But in that very first read, I did take away 2 things that I could understand as I walked out to that barn the very first time to work with Romeo. I would click when he did something I wanted and give him a treat. And if he didn't do something I wanted, I had to act. Ooh, that turned my world upside down. It was no longer his fault. I had to do something. So that was kind of hard for me because I had to learn to use these new animal training tools. At the same time, I had to learn to not use my human training tools, which would be to blame Romeo. But I saw results in the first 5 minutes, so I stayed with them. And eventually I became more savvy in the tools, started doing more reading, tried to find out about this word behavior, and my tools evolved. And now this was more how I looked at it. I had to identify an objective criterion for success. That part, that one thing at a time, ooh, that was tough for me. Then I had to mark the moment of success. With Romeo, I used a tongue click because I never got the hang of using a clicker very well. My gymnast, I ended up using sometimes a word. Yep, yep, yep. And then I had to reinforce, or think about reinforcement at least, in a hopefully a positive, but definitely a timely manner. Well, my ability to do these mechanical skills did improve, and with that, so did Romeo. So I improved Romeo. But within weeks, I was riding around with Romeo in my neighborhood and on trails. That is something that I never ever thought would happen. I actually thought I would have to put him down. But it made me think, could I bring this amazing thing back to my side of the house? Could I use animal training to do human training and not be run out of town on the rails? Well, that's where TAGteach was born and why TAGteach was born. So in order to see if I could cross over that threshold, I needed to make it a human trainer friendly. So this is when I joined with Joan Orr. Hi, Joan Orr, thanks for putting the conference together. Yes. Who was at the time a clicker trainer and a scientist, and also a mother of 2 gymnasts, Anne, who is here today. Thank you, Anne. And we started, long story short, we started testing it with gymnasts. And then I brought in Beth Wheeler, who was a long-time friend and colleague and owned a dance studio. We asked her if we could test this with her dancers. And then we got a little deeper into the science, and we joined up with Karen Pryor, whose shoulders we've been standing on all along. So that was pretty exciting. And it was going pretty well. And we even started calling it TAGteach. Teaching with acoustic guidance, because in the beginning we used this clicker or a sound, and it just kind of stuck. Plus it was like putting a tag on a behavior. Yes, I want that behavior. Yes.